Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit Azabi here, back again with Hunter x Hunter. We're on episode 72, and in the last episode, they finally beat Razor and got access to, got the card Path of Shore. Yeah, it was the episode that had my most favourite moment of the entire show so far, I think, with Gon, Killua, and Hisoka teaming up. It's fantastic. I loved it. I loved the way it was won as well, with Hisoka using the bungee gum to fire it back like a trampoline. Fantastic. Getting it stuck to Razor's arms and pushing him back over the line. It was amazing. You can't go wrong with Hisoka, can you? He's fantastic. So, right. So coming up, we have to deal with Genthru. So Sesgara's gone to hopefully force a stalemate with Genthru that'll keep him occupied for 3 weeks. That's what he's hoping for. If he manages to pull that off, then Gon and Killua have to give Sesgara the lucky Alex Android card, which I don't I talked about it in the post discussion for episode 71 that I don't see why he has any need for cards, because he literally just said to Gon and Killua that they are the people who can go and win this and not himself. So I don't understand why he would have any need for a card. But regardless, he's trying to give them enough time to come up with a plan and recuperate a bit after their dodgeball match, so that they can go and defeat Genthru themselves. So yeah, I mean, that's all that's coming up next. The only other thing would be the Troupe. So they have found the guy who has the Nen Beast and the capabilities to remove Nen from somebody. So I'm believing, I think they found him anyway. They didn't really say that, they just said we found him. I'm guessing that's what it is though. I mean, I don't see why it would be anyone else, unless for some reason they're going after Genthru for whatever reason. I don't think that's the case though. So yeah, I think that's the only real things we're going to be looking at in this episode. So yeah, nothing else to really say. We're just going to get in episode 72 and see what we get. So without further ado, let's go. Okay, episode 72. Right. Damn. So I'm at to. Is it to be believed that Genthru had already been out to deal with Batara beforehand, and probably forced them to do this, and that's why they've cancelled it? Is that what am I correct in saying that? Fuck's sake, man. I don't know if that is the case. But regardless, it doesn't matter, because Genthru has followed them out anyway. So it's going to become a Nen battling. Which, I mean, using the accompany cards and things like that to basically stall for time. To the point where I guess they need to keep them out for 5 days now. Because there's still 5 days left, right? So they need to keep them there. It's interesting, though. It's good. I mean, whilst in the game, Sesgara did say that, this is how a single star hunter fights. And I'm sure he was referring to the whole, a company thing. Keeping them stalled, so it's not like he's an upfront fighter. Then is that what it is? He's more like a support guy, doing things. I mean, it's not really pacifist. I was going to say doing things the pacifist way, but I don't know if that's. I think that's probably the wrong word to use. Because a pacifist wouldn't like other people killing. So, it's not like he can just be in support of that, but not kill himself. But, I think maybe just trying to find a roundabout way to do things. Not necessarily always, heading to violence as the first order of business. I mean, that being said, though, he was talking about how, when they, do fight, if it comes to a time where they... Oh, I wonder then. I'm beginning to think that Sesgara's he's still trying to win the game. I think the whole thing about him telling Go and Killua that they're the ones that can go and win the game, or I feel like he was just putting that up as a, to still be on like to feel like he's still on side with them. I don't think he has any like harsh fucking feelings again. I don't think that's the case. I don't think like the enemies or whatnot. But I feel like that's the reason why I need the lucky Alexandrite card. And that's why I asked for it because they've got a voucher card, which once the transformation limit thing has been used up, because they are attempting, it's going to get to a point where they're thinking that one of the bomber guys will fall and become heavily injured, and the only way to save them would be to use Breath of Archangel. Once it's been used, then they can use the voucher card. And it says here that the voucher card that it can be exchanged for Breath of Archangel, but can only be obtained once the Breath of Archangel has attained its card transformation limit, meaning that as soon as it's used from them, it'll automatically go to Sesgara. Now, that being said, I mean, at some point then they would have to face off against Gon and Killua, right? because they have the Path of Shaw card, meaning they would have to get it. It's crazy because it's like it's just a wonder what game is he trying to play? Like he's trying to it's sort of being an ally, even though Sesgara says it's not. No, we're not like it's not like we're an ally. Like he's specifically said that last episode, but it kind of is because he's given them time to, to recuperate and to come up with a plan. But the longer that, the longer they give Gon and Killua time to do all of that, means that if Sesgara wants to take Path of Shaw from them, I don't know. Maybe they could use up one of those fucking lucky dice things. Who knows? I don't know. And just try and steal it from them, and then yay, they've won. I don't know. Maybe that is what he's trying to pull off. How a single Star Hunter fights. So maybe it's not just a case of being more upfront, but maybe it's a bit more deceiving, and that's the way that they fight. Like an ultimate like opportunist kind of thing that he's got going. Maybe that's what it is. But yeah. Anyway, regardless of that, so yeah, we had Hisoka meet up with the Troupe, and they found out where he was. I was wondering, yeah, like how did they find him? Because he specifically changed his like attire and stuff and whatnot. But turns out that Kalluto is now a member of the Troupe and taken Hisoka's place, and she has something along the lines of being able to track. Why though? Why has she decided to join them? I feel like she's only been joined. Like she's only been. I mean, we know that the Zoldyck family have like some. There was some sort of tie. There's a tie-in with Illumi, right? So I don't know. I have a feeling Illumi probably got Kalluto to join in, possibly. It's interesting. Hisoka doesn't know who he is, because Kalluto is a boy, right? I think someone told me that, because I remember when he first fucking episode 26 or something, so it was somewhere around there, wasn't it? When we first saw him, I was like, I thought it was a little girl, and I think someone said that that's actually a boy. It's, of course, Japan. Fucking mixing up the fucking like what? There's so many. Every fucking anime has one. There's always one. So yeah, he's now a member of the Troupe. Fucking hell, man! Like, it's crazy. I want to know how this is all going to plan out, because it all depends on the relationship I think that Killua and Kalluto would have. I'm not sure they really have one. I don't think they do. I remember like back when we were in that arc and they were showing they showed the Zoldyck family as a what's the word? Not shadows, like fucking. I know the word, and it's not coming to me. They showed them like the characters, the Zoldyck family, but they were like grayed out, right? So you couldn't actually see them. They were just, they were just like all white, one color, sort of like shaded out. And I'm sure there was 2 younger siblings that Killua had. Now I don't know if Kalluto is younger than Killua, but let's say that he is. Then I think there's 2, because I think there was one that Killua was holding the hand of, right? And I don't think that we've met that one yet. I'm positive it wasn't Kalluto, because the silhouette looks different. Silhouette, that's the fucking word I was looking for before. Well, it's funny, isn't it? When you want to think of a word and you can't think of it, but then as soon as like you've gone past that and you don't need to think about it anymore, it just pops into your fucking brain. Ridiculous. Fucking life. Anyway, so yeah, it's all going to be dependent. I'm going to probably say that he's not. I don't know. I really don't know, because it would be interesting. Like, would Killua be able to go like kill one of his family members? I know he said that he would, but would he though? I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah, fuck knows. Anyway, so yeah. Right. I wrote down, do I trust Hisoka to win against Chrollo? Here's the problem I have. Here's the issue, right? Now, I would back Hisoka against anybody, given the right time. And that's the only reason why it's the only reason why I'm worried, because all I'm thinking is they're spending this whole time, right? They're not just going to bring him back with all of his nen and everything like that, like so that he can use his nen again for Hisoka to just beat him and that's it. Because we know Hisoka's going to want to kill him. They're not just gonna let him do this for a fight just so Hisoka can kill him. There's no way. There's no way. I know that this show like tends to, it doesn't. It tends to fight like the sort of like stereotypes and like be rather unexpected in the way that it goes about things. I just don't see. I just feel like for certain story things, it's too big. I don't know if. Chrollo's like a big part that I don't think they would just bring him back. I don't know. But then again, it's this show, and I'm just thinking like if they do that, then it's going to be a specific reason. Like they're going to go around. If they were to do it, they would go about it in a good way. I think. I just don't know. It just makes us worried. It just makes us nervous. That's all. You know what I mean? I don't want to lose Hisoka. Though that being said, well, actually, I tell you what. Considering how close they are to there, like, you know what I mean? I feel like once they get a hold of that guy, I can't even remember what his name is. Once they get a hold of him, it's not going to take long for them to persuade him to take the nen off Chrollo, right? So I would probably say that they're very close to this point. However, what we aren't close to, I feel like we're still a way off, is the true fight between Gon and Hisoka, right? So I feel like even if Hisoka and Chrollo were to fight, I'm not sure it would be a, I still think that there has to be at least the final Gon and Hisoka fight, right? There has to be. So I don't know. They could hold it off, like when Krollo eventually gets his name back and all that. Like maybe they could just hold it off for a while. But I don't know, because I feel like they're doing that with Gon. So it's all, I don't know when things are going to take place. That's the thing. Like I feel like they're close. I just don't. I don't know. I just feel like Hisoka would be like, as soon as it's there, it's like, right, we're fighting. Like I feel like that's something Hisoka would do. Because he was already there to fight and he was ready to do that, but then it was taken away from him. So I feel like this time it's like, well, why wait at this point, you know? And I don't see why Krollo would want to wait either. Unless he's like, you know, oh well, I haven't used my Nen so long, like I'm a bit rusty, so I need to, you know, get back to my best. That's the only way I would think that they would postpone it. I don't know. Things can happen. We're just gonna have to wait and see exactly what does happen. Anyway, so Gon is practicing he's training his sort of use of being an emitter, which it's interesting. They like Bisky was saying that that's the power that is probably going to be the most useful against these lot, because you're able to use it from a distance and keep them at bay, which well, yeah, I mean, makes sense considering the fact they have to touch you and say bomber in order to attach the bomb to them. So I guess, yeah, emitter in that regard is the correct thing to learn at this point. It's going to be the most useful. And they were saying, like, it's interesting now they're bringing up the level thing. Have they brought up the level thing before? I don't think they have, right? They were talking about, like, going up a level, but then Bisky says, no, this is like level 5. And level 5 is like the minimum you need in order to use it as a weapon. But then basically saying that, like, level 5 is at a point where it's enough to push someone back, but it's not really something to do damage. But it would work. That would work in some case, like of a, like, you know, they went up to the boulder thing. I imagine the boulder is part of the plan. I don't see what that would be. Why they would be looking at the boulder for anything else. I think that the boulder is part of the plan. So if you were to use that, push it, like, I don't know, let's say they've moved the boulder somehow. I don't know how they're fucking lifting that thing, but if somehow they got the boulder, like, up above some height, push them below it, the boulder falls off, pushes them, something like that. Anyway, I'm not even sure that is going to be the case anymore, because Killor's come up and say, right, we've run out of time. I don't know how to take that. I thought as soon as he brought it up that he was doing it on, like, he was lying, and he was doing it on purpose to try and spur Gon on, because I feel like Gon sort of is at his best when he is up against a wall and, like, the challenge is there, you know, because he's had this time to try and get it and he hasn't gotten it. Maybe something that puts him on a very, like, strict time limit to do it, like, would force him to be able to come up with something. And I thought that's what they were going for. But then they were like, no, right, we'll use this. It's a spell card that we haven't seen. At least I don't think they brought it up anyway. And so they're going to use a spell and win the plan. I don't know. Well, I mean, it's going to have to wait until fucking next episode to see exactly what the plan is. You know, but yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. And other than that, yeah, so the sensation of aura is different for everyone, which is interesting, because I don't think that has ever been stated before either. So the way people use their aura, I want to say manipulate, but then that would just be for manipulators, I don't know, to sort of feel out their aura is completely different for every person, which probably goes into the reason why some things are just more they work with certain people. I think when the first time we saw, like, Machi and Hisoka together in the arena arc, she said she pointed out that the likes of Bungee Gum and Texture Surprise are, like, perfect for you kind of thing. And I wonder if, you know, it's just because the way it works with the way that he sort of uses his aura kind of works just in tandem with it. And I think that probably has something to do with the reason as to why there is so many variables in the use of Nen. Even if, like, you have, you know, if you have 100 people, like 100 different transmuters, each one would use their thing differently, and maybe that's got something to do with it, you know. You know, so yeah, I like the fact that, you know, Killer was like, well, why can't you just give him some advice? And she's like, well, no, because it would do damage. It's like getting a bad habit, in a way, you know. So yeah, I like that. Okay, well, I don't know. I don't know what to expect next episode. I feel like it's going to be the fight between Sesgara and Genthru, and I think it's going to be a straight up Nen battle. So it's going to be interesting to see how he works around with it, because we haven't really seen him use it all that much. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he uses it, especially when he's like, I'm a single star hunter and this is how we fight. It's going to be interesting. But yeah, we'll have to wait on that episode. So that is all I've got. So thank you everyone for watching. In the description below, I've linked certain things. One of them is the Discord, so you can get yourself over there. I also have a Patreon as well, so if you do want to support me on Patreon, that'd be very much appreciated. There is a bunch of different tiers and rewards depending on how much you want to support me with. So there's the early access for $5 a month. That gives you access to shows a week early, and you get 4 episodes of Hunter Hunt every week. That's 2 on Monday and 2 on Friday, as opposed to the general public that only get 2 episodes a week. So by the time this goes out for the general public, you can become an early access tier patron and get access to like episode 110, like everything up to that point. So, you know, for just $5 a month, if you just want to pay for 1 month, you get access to like plus 40 episodes of reactions to binge watch. Then, you know, if that sounds worth it to you, you can go do that. There is also full length tiers there. And there are other tiers where you can pay to have, you know, a certain show reacted to. So go have a look at that as well. But that is all I've got. So thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.